All right, council was just in executive session, so the first thing I need to do is reconvene out of executive session at 7:09 p.m. Council will come out of executive session and back into our work session. And at this point, I will close the work session at 7:09 and put that to bed. That will bring us to tonight's council meeting, which I will call the meeting to order for our regular city council meeting on January 5th, 2026 at 7:09 p.m. If you will, please rise for the invocation to be led by Councilman Gann, followed by the pledge to be led by Councilwoman Barrett.
Please join me in prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for everything that you give to us. Thank you for the past few weeks to reflect on family and things that are important to all of us. We ask that you continue to grace us with health and opportunities and continue to help us be the light for those that need it. And just please continue to guide us. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. If you will turn and face our flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. That brings us to our citizens input time, which is always available at council meetings. We usually limit that to around 3 minutes just for being expeditious, but we are eager to hear from our citizens that want to participate in the process. Council cannot deliberate or really talk with you about any items you bring up, but we can be all ears, as will staff, and we'll try to address any concerns or questions that you have. We do like to get a citizens input form from you that are on the back of the table, but that shouldn't prevent you from coming forward sequentially. At this point, we just want you to fill one out before we're done. I do have one citizens input form, so I'd ask that Rick and Phyllis Ruiz, Phyllis, if you'd like to come forward, if you'll state your name and address up here at the podium for the record, we'd love to hear from you.
Yes, as you said, Rick and Phyllis Ruiz, and we live at 4215 Baccarat Lane. And we just want to start the year off by saying thank you to the city. On May 15th, I believe, last May 15th, I had a phone conversation with Jim Bowles about the street in front of our house that was crumbling and full of tiny rocks. And in October, they got approval and they got the contractor, and we have a new street in front of our house. So everybody has been more than kind during this whole process, and I just wanted to thank everyone.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate you taking the time to come out to say a good word.
And she can come back anytime.
I know. I started to say, as you can imagine, that doesn't happen for us very often, so we appreciate the time. We get another, is there anybody else that wishes to speak during citizens input time? Okay, that was the only form I had. But we get another kind of fun thing to do, recognize long-standing employee that has served the city well for a long time and who must have a lot of grace because she put up with our electric department for so long, and it was probably the backbone behind keeping them straight back there. That's a rowdy crew, I know. So we want to recognize Renelle Wolf for her service to the city for how many years is it, Renelle? 32 years. 32 years. You can stay there. You can come up in a minute, but let me read the proclamation. We want pictures. We want pictures, but
This is the first time I've retired.
well, if you come back and you can retire again, we'll let you come back. You know, if you don't.
It gets easier the second time.
We do want you to come up in a minute and take some pictures, but let me read the proclamation right quick. Retirement proclamation for Renell Wolf. Whereas we are here today to express our appreciation to Mrs. Renell Wolf and honor her for her distinguished 32-year career with the City of Sanger. And whereas she has served in the electric department for the last 21 years and is well respected by surrounding municipal agencies and dedicated service to the citizens and employees alike. Whereas Mrs. Wolf's service began as an employee of the finance department and as an accounts payable employee, then onto human resources, and completed her career as the administrative assistant of the electric department. And whereas on behalf of the entire city council, I want to express our sincere appreciation to Renell Wolf for her loyalty to the City of Sanger and wish her much happiness as she begins this exciting new chapter of her life. Now, therefore, I, Thomas Buer, Mayor of the City of Sanger, on behalf of the entire City Council, ask all residents and employees to join me in congratulating Renell Wolf on an outstanding career with the City of Sanger and wishing her many continued years of happiness and good health. Anybody you want up there with you, and we want, I know the department will probably want some pictures too. So the department might want to take pictures. Christmas is the only picture they for you, right? We can't talk those guys into it. Yeah, come on. Come on. This is the last picture.
No, there's tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting your guys. So it's nice to make a family. Let y'all have your family picture.
He's got nothing.
Go get it.
The guy on the okay, there you go.
Now you see why our jobs here.
Everybody look here. Big smiles. One more, big smiles. One last. Got it.
Great. Thank you, Renell. Well, thank you again. It's great to be able to recognize that kind of service to the city. We appreciate it. We have a lot of employees that give us long-standing service. And I think that's somewhat unique in the municipal world, especially nowadays. So we're appreciative of the folks that invest in their local community, live here, work here, grew up here, came and joined us later even and worked for a long time for us. We really appreciate our employees that way. Thank you. All right, now I guess on to business. Our first item, council, is our consent agenda. You have minutes from December 1st. You have a memorandum regarding emergency management agreements and deployments. You have a rate increase from Republic. That's part of our contract. That's part of their built-in inflation adjustment from a trash service at the public. There's some library card update requirements. There is the ordinance calling and ordering the May 2nd, 2026 general election that will elect mayor, city council member place 2 and council member place 4 for 2-year terms. And there's consideration for a final plat of Lois Road Estates subdivision, filing number 7 there in further detail. And I believe that's it on the consent agenda. As usual, if there's anything you wish to pull to discuss in greater detail, we can do that. And we can either vote all of it or any portion thereof it in the consent. Whatever your pleasure is, I entertain your thoughts.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I only have a question with one item.
Which one is that you'd like to pull?
Item 4.
Okay, we'll pull item 4 for further discussion.
Yeah, nobody else, it's just a quick question
Yeah.
for the city manager, but
Yeah.
if nobody has anything else, I'll make a motion that we approve consent agenda as presented for items 2, 3, and 5 through 7.
Okay. Got a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I've got a motion from Councilman Billieu, seconded by Councilman Gann, to approve consent agenda items 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7. We are pulling item 4 for further discussion. All in favor of approving those items as stated, indicate by raising your hand. Passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll pick up item 4 then, which is consideration of possible action on a 4% rate increase from Republic Services, Inc. for solid waste and recycling services. Council.
My question, we've been trying to get Republic here for a presentation for some time, and I know they had some turnover and they were getting things. When is that scheduled?
They were just here. I believe you were out when they were here last.
They were here for that. Okay.
Yeah. We could schedule them to come back in. We know that after the last presentation that we still had some recurring issues
Yes.
we were told at the time that they had been addressed, but they clearly have not been. They are still working through 1 or 2 of those. I'm waiting, because I just got back into office this week, I'm waiting to see how many weeks it is before those recurring issues pop back up, because I anticipate that they probably will, because we have not been able to get a solid resolution out of them on several of those items.
So that would have been October then, when they were here?
I believe so.
That's the only meeting that,
I'll go back and get that date for you and provide it to the whole council.
When
When
city manager and I visited on this one, this one is the one that I kind of asked about a little bit too, just because we've had the hiccups we've had with service. And the rate increase is contractual at this point,
Right.
but there is a point where we can push back harder, and I think
but there
the
are also
city
some,
manager continues to push back and will bring it to us if it needs to come to the head, I guess.
no, and I'm not contesting the rate increase, I get that, but there are contractual issues that they're obligated to do
Yep.
as well.
Yep.
And I think that there is a significant disagreement in certain terminology. We'll leave it at that for now.
Yeah, and we're working, I actually had this discussion with Clayton today. We're preparing a solid waste survey to go out to the entire community so that we can go ahead and get the documentation, the feedback we need to come back to you and see how aggressive we need to be on the solid waste side. Right now, based on the number of issues that we have, but they're continually the same issues with the same people, we're not sure that we even understand how deep the problem may or may not be. Because right now, I will tell you internally, the discussion has been, we've been preparing to put this back out whenever the opportunity presents itself, but we certainly don't want to be rash without the right information. So that we hope to have that survey ready to go by the first part of February, so we can have some preliminary information to you in March at our retreat.
Perfect. Mr. Mayor, that's all I have unless
Okay.
somebody else does.
With that, I'd entertain a motion on that item.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve consent agenda item number 4 as presented.
There, second. Okay, I've got a motion by Councilman Billieu, seconded by Councilman Barrett, to approve the 4% rate increase from Republic Services for solid waste and recycling services pursuant to the contract that's in place. Any other discussion? All in favor indicate by raising your hand. All opposed, and it passes unanimously. Okay. That brings us to a public hearing item. Want to conduct a public hearing on ordinance number 010226, a request for a specific use permit for a temporary concrete batching plant used for Lane Ranch Phase 5, being approximately 26.102 acres of land described as A0029A RBB Tract 56A and 56B1 within the city of Sanger and generally located north of McReynolds Road, approximately 1,245 feet east of the intersection of McReynolds Road and Lake Ridge Drive. I'll call the public hearing open at 7:24 and let staff introduce it, and then we can take any input that we need to take.
Yes, this is for a temporary concrete batch plant for the Phase 5 subdivision. We've completed Phase 1 and they used the same type setup, different company but the same type setup. So this would be just to allow that batch plant to be on site, create the concrete there, pour the streets there so that we don't have so many trucks on our city streets and our roads there. It's worked out well in the past for developments, and I think this is something we'll continue to see with phases and different developments coming in. So basically we did have one response in opposition. It's included in your packet.
Okay.
We sent out a total of 8 notices around that.
Okay.
They
Okay.
did ask for 6 months too, not because they're gonna use it the entire 6 months, but that gives them enough moving time in there that if rain or weather holds them up, they have extra time for that.
All right. Okay, with that introduction, I don't know if there's a representative from the,
There is.
if the applicant needs to speak or address the issue, or if they'd rather hear from the public first, either way.
Public first.
Okay. Does anybody in the public wish to speak during the public hearing, give input to this process? Okay. Okay, I'm not seeing anybody approaching. I presume we can move on then. The applicant's okay with us moving on? All right, we'll close the public hearing then at 7:25. That'll bring us to our action items. The first one's related to this, item 9, which is consideration possibly action on ordinance 010226, a request for a specific use permit for a temporary concrete batch plant used for Lane Ranch Phase 5, as further detailed in item 9. We've heard the introduction. Is there anything extra we need to know?
No,
Okay.
I think that pretty much covers it.
Council, do you have questions or wish to discuss this further?
No questions. I'll make a few comments. There's a precedence of us doing this, and primarily for some of the reasons that Rainey addressed. It takes a lot of that heavy traffic off our streets and confines it to a certain area. You know, some of the concerns that we always get with these, or what was addressed here with contaminants in the air and noise, but those are heavily regulated by TCEQ. And each time that we've had this, since I've been on council, there's been maybe a half dozen of these, and none of those became problems. So the one other question that sometimes we get is that they're going to make concrete and sell it to somebody else and do this. That cannot happen. That is heavily regulated. So it's only for that area. Yeah, it's for that site only. And 4 or 5, maybe 6 that we've done in this in the past, they've all worked out extremely well. So
I totally agree. Any other comment that council would like to make?
no.
If not, I'd entertain a motion.
And I missed it the first time, and I'm glad you said it, and I went back and I saw it. We always like a start and an end date, so that it's not there forever, and it is 6 months, and which we've had in the past. If they were done, it was gone.
Correct.
Nobody wants to
If
keep
they
it there.
finish early, they take it out early.
Yeah. So if there's no other objections from my peers, I'll make a motion that we approve agenda item number 9 as presented.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I've got a motion by Councilman Milieu, seconded by Councilman Gann, to approve ordinance number 010226, a request for a specific use permit for a temporary concrete batch plant used for Lane Ranch Phase 5 as detailed in agenda item 9 and in that ordinance. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of that motion indicate by raising your hand. Passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, Council.
That brings us to item 10, which is consideration of possible action regarding the barbecue rib cook-off special event permit to allow alcohol consumption at and during the event in downtown on February 7th, 2026. Right?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The attached special event application was received on December 8th. The special event committee meeting was held on December 16th to go over the event details with the Chamber of Commerce and Uptown Brewery. Event details include, it's a barbecue rib cook-off. Date is February 7th. The location is the Uptown Brewery and behind the brewery area. Time is from noon to 6. Expected cookers is anywhere from 25 to 30. Expected attendance is around 400. And road closures are needed for this event. The road looks at closing the roads on 3rd Street on Bolivar and Cherry, 2nd Street at Bolivar and Cherry, and closing Cherry Street from 2nd to 3rd for this event. City Council approval is required for this event due to the request for alcohol consumption in the downtown area. Alcohol will be sold by Uptown Brewery. If approved by council, staff recommends the following restrictions. 1 additional officer will be on duty during the event hours, which will be taken care of by the Chamber of Commerce or the Uptown Brewery before the event. Plastic cups only, no glass. Two drinks per person at one time. If you have any questions about the event, the Chamber of Commerce and Uptown Brewery is here for any type of questions that you may have.
I only have really one question. Windmill Saloon, I think I have the right name. How do you control if somebody got the alcohol from Uptown or from them? Is it just the different hours that they work, or?
It's just they're not supposed to be going in there. So it's up to them to regulate who's bringing alcohol into their establishment.
Okay.
Wait, clarify that. It's up to who to determine who's bringing alcohol in, going into Windmill or going from Windmill to Uptown?
Going from Uptown Brewery to Windmill or vice versa.
But the streets are going to be marked off, or the streets are closed. And is there going to be a perimeter set up at all?
With barricades, that takes care of the perimeter.
I mean, on the back side, that essentially the whole block.
The whole side of Cherry Street will be blocked off. The streets will be closed for no automobiles, only pedestrians only.
Okay. And then you said for security, there'll be an additional officer on duty. Will that officer be there at the event?
Be there just for the event. Those fees will be taken care of by the Sanger Chamber of Commerce or the Uptown Brewery before the event.
Typically, they'll hire an off-duty police officer for that purpose.
You said it when it's specifically for that event, is what I was getting at.
Correct. During the hours, during the event hours.
Perfect.
Very good. Council, other questions on this at all?
And it's a unanimous approval by the committee? Is that what I saw?
Special event committee met with the chamber to go over the details. They signed off on the event, but ultimately the approval is for the city council.
But there wasn't any reservations from staff that were involved in the process?
No, not so. We did add the restrictions: the officer, the no glass, and a limit to the number of drinks.
We appreciate you thinking about that and weighing in on that.
Mr. Mayor, you looking for a motion?
Yeah, I didn't say motion.
I'll make a motion that we take action and approve the barbecue rib cook-off special event permit to allow alcohol consumption at and during the event in downtown on February 7th, 2026.
Okay. Do I have a second? Okay. I've got a motion by Councilman Bilyeu, seconded by Councilman Barrett, to approve the special event permit for the barbecue rib cook-off to allow alcohol consumption at and during the event in downtown on February 7th, 2026, subject to the permit as laid out with those specifications that have been mentioned by staff. Any other discussion? All in favor of that motion indicate by raise your hand. Passes unanimously.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you. Thank y'all for coming out and being available. Yeah, we thank you for taking your time, and you're welcome to stay. But, recognize you're here for that, and we appreciate it. Item 11 is consideration and possible action on ordinance 010326, calling and ordering a special election to be held on May 2nd, 2026, for the purpose of submitting to the qualified voters of the city of Sanger, Texas, a joint ballot proposition determining the abolition of the sales and use tax collected for the Sanger Industrial Development Corporation A-type, Economic Development Sales Tax at the rate of 0.5%, contingent upon the creation of a Municipal Development District, MDD, at the rate of 0.5% within the city's corporate limits and the city's extraterritorial jurisdiction, ETJ. Does staff want to comment on that?
Yeah, Mayor and Council, as you remember, we had a joint meeting with the A Board to discuss this item. We believe that extending the MDD or our ability to collect a portion of sales tax within the ETJ is beneficial to the growth of the city of Sanger and beneficial to the citizens. It helps carry the burden of the taxes that exist now. And that's why you see that proposal before you today. The next item is related to that as well, because it affects your ETJ. The two separate ballot items make sure there's a delineation between the voters, but not your results. The results will obviously be aggregate between the two to determine whether it's created and then how you proceed from there.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
one quick question. Is there any special election rules with this? I mean, is it a simple majority for or against, or does it have to be 2/3 since
Simple majority.
simple majority?
And we'll begin, if this is approved, we'll begin the process of putting out the information. Staff is currently working. Kelly has put in a great deal of work, as well as Shane, on putting together factual information related to the creation of the NDD and what the benefits of the NDD are, as well as what happens to the type A in the situation. And then again, if this is approved, we will have another discussion to determine how you would want to proceed with preparing any bylaws for the future. This will change the structure potentially of your EDC as you know it. So there's more legwork to be done on the back end during the cycle of getting the information out and holding the election.
But some of that basic information you're talking about, that's going to be presented to the public prior to the election.
It's going to be, as soon as we get this done, you'll start seeing that information trickle out over the next few weeks.
Primarily via our website?
It'll be via your website. We'll run our ads in the paper. We'll utilize the Denton Chronicle as well. We'll probably have the council assist us in producing some videos that can be utilized for that purpose as well. We'll be all hands on deck. We believe that this is in the interest of where Sanger is headed as a community, and it gives us the ability to not just provide the quality of services or better services that we provide now. It allows us to extend out and help those people that we consider Sanger community. We talk about that a lot.
Sure.
That draw from our services now.
Well, we've heard the pros and cons, and my concern is it's going to the voters how they get some of the information that we've already received.
Yeah, and we're going to make sure again, because it's not just a local election, in a sense, because you're dealing with your extraterritorial jurisdiction. We understand that we have a burden to make sure that information doesn't just stop at the city limits.
Perfect.
And the abolition of our current situation would not happen unless the MDD is in place.
Correct.
That's the reason I read very pronounced the contingent upon language that's in the current resolution.
Yeah, so it's not a, you know, don't create an MDD and lose your type A. It is, if the MDD is created, there will be no additional half-cent put on the citizens or the residents now. It will just be a transfer of where the current dollar goes. It will go to the MDD instead of the
Type A.
type A.
Yeah.
And if I recall correctly, if our population was less than 7,500, we could do that at the council level, but since we've exceeded that, it has to go to the public vote.
Correct.
Okay.
There's a portion, there's a small window that you have that would allow for that. And then as we look at the creation of the MDD, you have a type A and a type B now. The powers and the authority of the type, an MDD type situation, they actually fit very well with collapsing your A because it gives them more authority, more power, and a little more structure to reach out and do some things that they have wanted to do. This allows them the ability to do it where they're not tied into some of the constraints they've had. For the city, primarily, it will be like having 2 type B boards. So it gives you the ability to expedite a lot of projects. And when we talk about EDC projects, those are not always just drawn in businesses like we did with Tom Thumb. A lot of times they contribute to our infrastructure. We know they contribute. Porter Park is a result of type B actions. So again, it is just merely us extending our reach just a little bit out into the ETJ so that we can continue to maintain the quality of services that people expect.
At the risk of being redundant, this is based on sales tax.
Sales tax, correct.
So
Sales and use.
that doesn't matter where you live if you shop in that area, right? So not just our citizens,
Right.
anybody passing through, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And it broadens the footprint of where that sales tax dollar
Right,
can be
'cause this could
collected.
be-
Because it can be
is
in
ETJ.
the ETJ.
So as the ETJ grows and develops, the mud question is something we talk about a lot, right? As those districts develop, and they're not ever in your city limits anymore, but they're within your ETJ, as they develop and the services needed to support those people develop, then the city will see the benefit of those additional sales and use taxes coming in on those large areas that we still service with public safety and other things.
Any other questions or comments by council? Okay, what's your pleasure on item 11 then?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve ordinance 01-03-26, calling and ordering a special election to be held on May 2nd, 2026 for the purpose of submitting to the qualified voters of the city of St. Mary, Texas, a joint ballot proposition determining the abolition of sales and use tax collected for the Sanger Industrial Development Corporation, a type A economic development sales tax, at the rate of 0.5% contingent upon the creation of a municipal development district at the rate of 0.5% within the city's corporate limits and the city's extraterritorial jurisdiction.
Second.
Okay, I've got a motion by Councilwoman Barrett, seconded by Councilman Bilyeu to, in favor of ordinance 01-03-26, calling and ordering a special election to be held on May 2nd, 2026 for the purpose of submitting to the qualified voters of Sanger, Texas, the joint ballot proposition related to the abolition of the half-cent sales tax for type A, contingent upon the municipal development district being approved at 0.5%, 0.5% within the city and its extraterritorial jurisdiction. Any other discussion? All in favor indicate by raise your hand. Passes unanimously. Thank you. That brings us to the related item 12, which is consideration and possible action on ordinance 010426, calling and ordering a special election to be held on May 2nd, 2026, for the purpose of submitting to the qualified voters of the extraterritorial jurisdiction, ETJ, of the city of Sanger, Texas, a ballot proposition to consider the adoption of a municipal development district, MDD, at the rate of 0.5% within said district, contingent upon the abolition of the sales and use tax collected for the Sanger Industrial Development Corporation, a type A economic development sales tax at the rate of 0.5%. So these are tied together, but they're the same effective issue. Any other flip-flop discussion on this one?
No, I'd like to make a motion that we approve ordinance 010426. And for the sake of the tongue twister, can I just say as presented?
I
And
love
not
it.
repeat the whole thing?
Yep, I like it.
Are y'all good? Okay, great. As presented in agenda item number 12.
Well, I'll keep it short. I'll second.
All right, so I've got a motion by Councilwoman Barrett, seconded by Councilman Bilyeu, to approve ordinance 010426 as detailed in agenda item 12. Any other discussion? All in favor indicate by raising your hand. Passes unanimously. All right. Council, are there any future agenda items that you want to mention at this point?
Not to mention, but I heard you say March, that date has been set.
Yeah, and I'll get that date out to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought that might have been something else I missed. Okay.
Yeah, we've set it, but I'll get you the correct date along with a preliminary of what we have on the agenda. We're just working through the remainder.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Given that, I've got one statement to make a little bit here. So since tonight we set the May election, we voted it in the consent agenda, I wanted to make clear kind of my intentions regarding the mayoral position. I've decided not to run for re-election, and I wanted to allow extra time and consideration for anybody who might want to run and think about running. So I'm just kind of setting that out there. As of the May election, just a little background, I will have served in the position for 16 years, along with additional years on planning and zoning and 4B board. It's been a privilege to serve the citizens of Sanger in those various capacities. I hoped at the outset to use my service as an example to teach my children the importance of service to others and to invest in a town that means so much to our family. While I'm sure that not every constituent has agreed with all the decisions I participated in as mayor, you can be assured that each decision was motivated by having the best interests of our beloved town at heart. For me, a part of being on council is a commitment to the job we were elected to, and I've endeavored to exercise what I consider a solemn responsibility with a steadfast commitment. Over my 16-year term, I think you can probably count on a handful of absences. I think Gary can attest to that. As Mayor Pro Tem, he's seldom had the opportunity to step in and run the meeting because I felt it was real important to hold fast to what I was elected to do. But beyond just administrating the meeting, though I believe it's a collaborative nature of the work over the years that's really set the stage for the current growth we're experiencing. We have substantially improved the city's condition and credit rating, allowing us the optionality to make decisions we never could have made as a council before such improvements. So the motivation, personally, with all of our kids basically out of the house now, and one down at UT in Austin, Elizabeth and I are kind of entering a new phase, my wife and I. We have 2 grandchildren and another one on the way just in the next few weeks. It's kind of time to invest personally in the next generation of our family and spend some extra time together there. Additionally, there's some initiatives in my business that I'd like to press into, and frankly, some new personal ministry opportunities from my faith-based side that have arisen, and I'd like to take some additional time to pursue those. I look forward to providing a more focused effort toward personal ministry and focused family time and some new business initiatives. It's certainly hard to step away from something in which you've had so much investment over the years. But I think it's time, I think it's the right time to make the transition. Elizabeth and I grew up in Sanger. We've invested in Sanger for decades now as a couple, and we will continue to invest in Sanger, just in new and additional ways. So with that, I mainly just wanted to get it out there so those that want to consider it, they've got longer time to think about it. So, because it's important to me that we end up with the good people in service positions. So that's kind of a future agenda item. So that's where I thought it fit best. So anyway, and we can visit offline on that if anybody wants to visit about it. So,
Well, I'm not getting off quite that easy.
well, it's just an announcement.
That's the first I've heard of it, and Thomas and I usually talk about things, and so I think I'm as shocked as anyone. And I've been on here almost as long as you have, and there's no doubt you've had the best interest of Sanger at heart. And yeah, we could make decisions, and you always had the answer for them. And I appreciate what you've done for this town.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, personally, I want to say too that I do not remember a time not knowing you.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not very much of an emotional person. You're wrenching my heart, man.
It's hurt my heart a little bit too. It's a tough decision.
You're one of the best people I know, and you have truly inspired me and my family. And I want you to know that.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I know you've watched me struggle this year, try to balance the work life with
Yeah.
volunteer commitments here, you know, because this isn't a paid gig.
No.
For just pull back the curtain on that for a second.
Yeah.
But I've known your family for a long time, and you've known my family, and I don't know what to say. This is going to be really weird. But it sounds like you have a lot of really great, wonderful things to look
Yeah,
forward
it
to
does. Oh,
also.
Yeah.
And I know that wasn't an easy choice.
Yeah. No. Family's the only one. A few folks that I've talked about, but we spent a lot of time thinking about it over months. So
I'm sure.
it's not made lightly. So anyway, I appreciate the good words. Thank you. And with that, we'll move on here. Council, you do have some informational items there that are pretty standard fare, some of our financial information, and some rate filings that are normal course. Is there any comments or discussion you want to have on any of those items? Okay.
No, sir.
We do need to go, if there's none of those, we do need to go back into executive session on one part that we did not get wrapped up before we had to go out of session earlier. So I'm going to take this time to call us back into executive session at 7:52 p.m. and it'll be on the second item there, item 551.072, deliberation regarding real property, for deliberations regarding the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. If deliberations in an open meeting would have a detrimental effect on the position of the governmental body, negotiations with a third person. And it's a discussion, a general discussion regarding purchase and sale of property for public purposes. So we'll go into executive session at 7:52. Right? Okay. This will call council out of executive session and into regular session at 8:28 p.m. I don't believe there's any action council is needing to take at this time. Council agrees with that. So we're back in regular session at 8:28. Seeing no other items on the agenda, I will adjourn this meeting at 8:28.
Thank you, council.
Thank you.